Is Diaspora Network. Good to be back again. Um, how was your day today, guys? Yeah, I hope everything's going on well. Okay. As I've always said, we need to encourage ourselves. Okay, let's keep on with the dream. Let's keep the hope on, and for sure, definitely, everything will be everything will be fine. Okay, everything will be fine. The things that know what you want, go for it. Keep on keeping on. Don't give in, don't give up. And you'll just be surprised, man, that everything will be cool. Okay. That is it. That is it. So this just for this evening, just to encourage you guys and to make sure we keep on the dream. We should not be ignorant, seriously, because ignorance will not give you anything better. It's good to know what is happening around your world, know what is involved, know what is you need to do, know the steps to take, and definitely the dreams will definitely come true if you don't give in, if you don't give up. Okay, you know, every situation I would say encompasses three dimensions. You know, your perspective, others' perspectives, and the truth. Your perspective may not be the truth. Other perspective may not be the truth, but there are three perspectives. Okay, your perspective, others' perspective, and the truth. Okay, so uh, if you provide this truth, if you provide the truth, not just your own something else, so you will definitely overcome challenges and hurdles. Okay, that is one of the secrets, and that is one of the secrets. That is the truth. You know? We have three perspectives: your own perspective, other people's perspective, and the truth. So, but the ability for you to take the truth will make you your dreams or your visions to be a reality. But if you have the ego, even when you are wrong, you say no, 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 I will not take it. I will not take it. That will be a problem. And again, if you take people's perspective, you 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 will get it wrong. So the truth is having the truth, knowing the truth, and using the truth. Okay, that is how it is, guys. So that is my advice this evening. So with that, I welcome you to Diaspora Network, and just for us to share and to talk about a few things. All right, that is it. So definitely, Nigeria. I have to talk about Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria, really. That's how it is. I have to talk about Nigeria. Okay. Uh, that's our beloved country. Please, as you watch, kindly like, kindly share, and make comment. Okay. We see. Um, we'll be happy. It's a better gate, better gate, better gate. Well, she's not the only person there, but I've said it before. We should be critical. Let's look at it critically, really. Okay. Um, it was when they accused her, Halima, when they accused her of the 44 billion naira that her case was brought up. So and now that case of 44 billion naira now has a bit died down. How old is it? Better gate, which was about 4 million naira. But that 44 billion naira now has died down. Do you see? So that means something is wrong somewhere, okay? Something is wrong somewhere. We should be critical about all this stuff, man. Don't let us not be clouded by some things, okay? Let's be logical. Let's be critical. Let's face it. analyze things critically. All right, it's better for us to analyze things critically and to understand things, because now that Halima, now her case has died a little bit. Meanwhile, that is the bulk of the money, 44 billion naira, and look at they said they recover 39 billion naira, and the case just died down, died down. That's Nigeria for you. They brought out a person with a lot. I'm not, 1 naira is something, man. I'm not against that too, but what I'm trying to say now, they've covered up that Halima a little bit. I'm not saying it's recovered. EFCC is still on it. I think they've recovered 39 billion naira. But the truth of the told, why was Betta own came out just at the same time? You know. So let's look at it critically, sharp. Let's look at it critically, because um, it's good to know the facts. Okay, I know maybe she made some mistakes. We don't know. What why I feel pain is that she's young, so we are hoping for these people to build, to motivate the youth, or the younger people. But it's so sad. Okay, it's so sad. It's so sad, and that's not why that's not why I'm here today. But it's just a sad attraction. But which is still in vogue, which is still in vogue. It's in vogue. People are praising Tinubu for doing what he did by suspending her, which is okay, which is normal. But the Minister of Interior Affairs, he was figured also. So what happened to him? What happened to him? I know that there are pressures up there. There are pressures up there. What happened to him too? So I think they should maybe make him to step aside. I mean, for a while, so that the case can be investigated really, because the company has signatory that is a major shareholder. I don't know how job they did. They want to benefit all those money. So man, anyway, so we had some 2 days ago or so. What is his name? Ododo Okupe resigned from Labour Party, the Free World, the former DG of Labour Party. And voila, I posted it on my on the wall. Voila, of all people, that one he maybe I'm sure he's going to put carpet to APC. I'm very sure of that. I know I put the video on my wall anyway. I will just play the video again. I'll use that to kickstart the analysis of today. And guys, I should say we should not give in, we should not give up, we should not make all this stuff, all this thing that is happening to kill our morale. Okay, let's encourage all the obedience. Let's encourage everybody. Let's keep the dream on, the hope of a better Nigeria. That is just the truth. The hope of a better Nigeria. I know it's possible. We can make it happen. We can definitely make it happen. So it's just to keep on the dream. Okay, keep on with the dream, man. That's what I would say. Keep on with the dream. We should not give in. We should not give up. All right. So, anyway, it's interesting. I should use the word interesting. It's interesting. So, let me. This guy Boala, it was the. He's a PDP. This guy, if I tell you things he said about APC, the campaign and so many things, you would not expect people like this to cross carpet. You know what I'm saying? To just all of a sudden, he's not a praiser, and the politicians are like that anyway. I said the politicians, they don't have ideology. All of them, they are all the same. They go here, they go there. Where better face. People call them stomach infrastructure of politicians. You know, well, I know that he has the right to choose anyone to choose to go where he want to go, but not with the rate. Not with the rate they are doing things. Okay, let us watch. He went to go and see Tinubu yesterday when he came out, made a press conference. But his name is Boala, and he was just boalaing. He just opened his mouth and was just boalaing. Let's listen to him. Let's listen to what he said. Ah, let's listen to what he said. But these are Nigerian politicians. What do you expect from them? Though he he resigned from the Labour Party, he said he has joined PDP, APC about all his name. I don't know. These people, we cannot trust them. That's why we need people integrity, people we can trust, people we can we can rely on and trust.
Who is a father to the nation, who God has given the opportunity to lead the country at this difficult time. And so I came to celebrate and congratulate him, and then to also give him our commitment that as citizens of the country, this is a time for all of us to throw our weight behind and support the administration. I gave an illustration of an aircraft that has taken off. The aircraft is the country. The passengers are the citizens. The pilot is Mr. President. His co-pilot is Excellency the Vice President. The cabin officials might be the ministers or other agents of the Federation. You may not like the takeoff of the airplane. You may have even your perspective about the way the pilot is, walking towards the turbulence, above the sea level. But one fact that must bind all of us is that the plane needs to land so all of us can be alive. When it lands, you can also say you don't like the way it lands. But at the 39,000 feet above sea level, the prayer of everybody, including the pilot and the passenger, will be the safe landing of the of the plane. Because if the plane crashes, apart from the aircraft getting destroyed, the pilot, the co-pilot, the cabin members, and all the passengers' life at risk. So at this difficult time, what we need is to throw our support and then see how we're able to navigate around, because there are difficult things in this country: hardship, poverty, insecurity, and the only way we can come together and support the achievement of this objective, I think, is for us to give our best in supporting the administration. So I came to congratulate him and then to tell him that I'm particularly excited about the recent policy decision he has taken to demonstrate that he's about the people and not just protecting his people. He took decisions against certain ministers who allegedly were, said to have committed infraction. The marked difference between him and the previous administration is that the previous administration may want to cover in order to avoid the backlash that the government is corrupt. But he is not about that. If this thing will touch on the poorest of the poor, humanitarian, that's the focus. And anybody who is caught wanting should not be covered. I told Mr. President I was thrilled by that decision. Yesterday again, he surprised us by the policy decision he has made to reduce the cost of governance. So it is like the unfolding. The most important thing in my communication with him was to look at his demeanor as he was talking to me about his passion for the country and the intention, to make sure that he leads a country with integrity. And you can have opinion from outside. When you sit from across table and you hear him, you can see what I've been taught as a lawyer is you not just know the law, you must know the demeanor of the judge. This informs your capacity to advocate. And that's what I did today. I was looking at the demeanor. I could see the passion and the conviction to lead. And that to me is exciting. It's not about party. This is about the country. Well, I'm here as a private citizen and who must be bound by the conviction we have towards our country and the need for us to push the country to a better place that we all desire. So I'm not here in the capacity of, first of all, I'm not even a leader in the PDP. I'm a private citizen. But you must also admit that I have had my history with Mr. President. When I was in APC, before the primaries, I was practically his key spokesman as at the time. And I supported his cause because I believed in him. And so I used this opportunity today to even touch on some of those past. And I'm very happy that instead of the president getting actually offended, he gave me some life lesson, about the fact that in life, if you are going to be offended because people took decisions that didn't favor you, you would never be helpful to anybody in life, or you can never relate with people. And so that largeness of the heart to me is encouraging. And I am also here to say I am supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in achieving the objective of the problems we are in the country. I don't think that at this time of hunger and problems in the country, somebody should be here talking about party. And as per defection, God knows tomorrow. But I am fully committed to supporting the cause of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That has to be made clear.
My God, the guy, all these politicians, man, they are the same people. They are the same people. They are really. I don't know when these guys will grow up. They are all the same people. Same people. Anyway, it's like defer to APC, to PDP, or to anything. That's my business. I don't really care. After all, the APC, they stood the election, and Nigeria, the life goes on. People are still suffering there. They are suffering. Well, Nigerians, they don't care. They don't really care. Life goes on. They don't give it. They don't care what is happening. They don't really care, which is too bad. Damn too bad. Damn too bad. Because we should uh, we should know that people are suffering in that country. People are really suffering in that country. It's a pity, oh. It's a pity, man. What do we do? I pray for them. I pray for Nigeria, man. That is it. But people are suffering. We should not run from it. People are really suffering, man. People are suffering. So, and these people, they don't have ideology. We just go for PDP to APC, move to here, move to here. They don't where benefits, where it can benefit them. They can't stand on the truth. They cannot just be lawyer for 1 year, 2 years. They can't just be um, you know, have a voice, even if it's a position. Are you don't you have something you are doing? Must is it politics, is it just politics that give you money? But Obi is a trader. He was a governor. He's still a trader. He's a trader now. He's a trader. So that guy, but like you said you are a lawyer. So why can't you go to your chamber and be doing something? Be a consultant. I know you are, and I believe you guys are doing, but must you be must you into politics? Go save our country, man. Go save our country. That's what I would say. But it's just a pity that people they are just doing their own. They don't care about the future of the country. It's too bad. It's done too bad. Okay. Let's see to Arise analysis. I like Arise analysis with their. Let's listen to the analysis and um, this about that article's aid and Edu suspension too. Let's talk about it. Let's analyze. Let's hear some few things. All right. Let's hear for few things. Uh, all right, guys. Let's watch.
To supporting the Tinubu administration. Boala, who has been a strong critic of the Tinubu administration while speaking to journalists, said he visited the president to celebrate and congratulate him for leading the country at a difficult time, as well as commend him for the policy decisions that he has taken so far, which demonstrates that he is for the people of Nigeria.
So I came to congratulate him and then to tell him that I'm particularly excited about the recent policy decision he has taken to demonstrate that he's about the people and not just protecting his people. He took decisions against certain ministers who allegedly were, said to have committed infraction. The marked difference between him and the previous administration is that the previous administration may want to cover in order to avoid the backlash that the government is corrupt. But he is not about that. If this thing will touch on the poorest of the poor, humanitarian, that's the focus. And anybody who is caught wanting should not be covered. I told Mr. President I was thrilled by that decision. Yesterday again, he surprised us by the policy decision he has made to reduce the cost of governance. So it is like the unfolding. The most important thing in my communication with him was to look at his demeanor. as he was talking to me about his passion for the country and the intention, to make sure that he leads a country with integrity. But you must also admit that I have had my history with Mr. President. When I was in APC, before the primaries, I was practically his key spokesman as at the time, and I supported his cause because I believed in him. And so I use this opportunity today to even touch on some of those past. And I'm very happy that instead of the president getting actually offended, he gave me some life lesson, about the fact that in life, if you are going to be offended because people took decisions that didn't favor you, you would never be helpful to anybody in life, or you can never relate with people. And so that largeness of the heart to me is encouraging. And I am also here to say I am supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in achieving the objective of the problems we are in the country. I don't think that at this time of hunger and problems in the country, somebody should be here talking about party. And as per defection, God knows tomorrow. But I am fully committed to supporting the cause of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That has to be made clear.
Voila. Okay, he has gotten a lot of reactions. Well, you made a lot of good points there when you talked about President Tinubu's large heart, and he's had his history with President Tinubu. But a lot of people are saying, Daniel Bwala, are you defecting or not? Just state it clear. And it's a big problem. It's a big indictment of the PDP at this point. Let me take Baron's tweet. He wrote, Atiku Abubakar and the PDP are very unserious duo. Daniel Bwala decamped from the APC to the PDP on Friday, July 28th, 2023. 5 days later, on Tuesday, August 3rd, 2023, Atiku Abubakar appointed Daniel Bwala as his presidential campaign spokesman. Atiku said they work for Tinubu. Well, the Naija guy wrote, Atiku's circle compromised individuals like Daniel Bwala and Reno Omokori, who lacked genuine belief in his vision. Their allegiance rested solely on personal gain, leaving them scrambling for alternative opportunities as Atiku seized funding. They are now desperately looking for new gigs. I knew PDP died the day they jettisoned their age-long tradition of zoning and allowed Peter Obi to leave the party. Of course, there were so many other tweets, but this was a funny one. This is from Chukse, who actually posted a picture of Bwala when he talked about the fact that even if you give Tinubu 30 years, nothing will work. I mean, this was weeks ago. But Daniel Bwala, to his claim, saying that, if you go to my Twitter account, you'll see that I've been supporting President Tinubu in the past few weeks. I went on his page. I'm not sure if I saw enough of the support. Dr. Bati, you're smiling too much. Go ahead. I know you can't.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just to start by saying that should anybody be shocked that this is happening? And the person who said Bwala joined Atiku Abubakar in 2023, no. It was in August 2022.
2022, yeah.
He left the APC in 2022, joined the Atiku campaign, became one of the spokespersons, and now in January 2024, he's back to APC.
Yeah.
And he's now saying he has very sweet memory of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Why did I say should anybody be shocked? This is standard behavior of Nigerian politicians.
Absolutely.
The average Nigerian politician will tell you that he's in politics because of what he can gain from it. And that 8 years will be too long a period to be out of the power loop. So if you see people hanging around a particular politician, if you don't win, they give you a little time, allow the matter in court to be settled, as the Supreme Court matter has been settled, and now it has suddenly occurred to Bwala as it occurred to, Saul on the road to Damascus. The epiphany of Daniel Bwala has pushed him to a point where he suddenly realized that it is better to support Tinubu. He's not even talking about Nigeria. He didn't say supporting Nigeria. He says he wants to go and support Tinubu. We have had it before. Yeah. Governors who say we want to go and support the president. So, tomorrow, if Tinubu doesn't pay him enough attention, he may go to Labour Party if he sees that he's Labour Party, and he won't be alone. Now that the matter of Supreme Court ruling has been settled, and a few weeks have passed, there will be more people.
Oh, yes.
There will be more visitation to go and see the CEC. And you will be shocked. Some of the people you will see there. And of course, Shaibu Tinubu being a politician. Who welcome everybody with open hands. And that's why Mr. Bayo Ononuga announced also on his X account that Daniel Bwala is back to the Ashwaju fold. So it's only a matter of time before he goes back fully and he declares, and he may even assume a new role as spokesperson.
Absolutely.
For Tinubu, believing that everybody will have forgotten.
Right.
The only thing that Daniel Bwala needs to worry about is that the internet does not forget.
Absolutely.
And that's why somebody has brought out that post that only 2 weeks ago, he was still saying nothing will work.
30 years.
Even if it's 30 years, nothing will work with Tinubu. But now, in less than 2 weeks, he has, or is it, in less than 2 weeks, he has changed his mind.
Yeah.
Now he's saying that President Tinubu is the best thing since the invention of toothpaste.
Yeah.
Now, Daniel Bwala used to appear regularly on this program.
Yes.
And he has one favorite proverb in Yoruba, even if it's Yoruba, it's not so smooth. Kokoro tinje efo inu efo lo wa. Kokoro tinje efo inu efo lo wa. He was always saying, well, the kokoro that
I know, I have read a tweet like that.
The kokoro that Ebola is talking about now, that insect that devours vegetables is now in his own pocket.
Kokoro tinje efo inu efo lo wa. I will speak.
So we now know where that insect is now.
Yes.
Maybe the insect has now moved to the Tinubu side. No. Whether they will allow the kokoro that is taken there to devour their own vegetables remains to be seen.
Absolutely.
But this is standard political behavior in Nigerian politics. The politics of opportunism, the politics of the, let me not use the popular phrase, alimentary politics. That sounds a bit elegant.
Yes.
But the meaning is obvious.
But, he commended the president for his policies and the swift action, that he took to fire some of the ministers.
There will be more commendations.
But he did right. We commend Tinubu for that. Meanwhile,
good. Yeah, the politicians are like that. Okay, politicians are like that. You cannot trust. You cannot just trust them. Today they are hot. Tomorrow they are cold. They are just like that. They are so funny. They are funny set of people. We should all know that. So, Doyin Kukubi has did his own 2 days ago. Look, there was a post I posted on my page. I said, maintain your integrity, don't do like them, do like them, don't do like them. So let's really love it.
Concerning his being linked to the 438 million naira contract awarded by the suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, to a company he co-founded and is a significant shareholder. The group argues that the minister has shown enough evidence that he is innocent of the allegations and should be allowed to continue his innovations in the Ministry of Interior.
It is a well-known fact that the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, Honorable Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has repeatedly.
This same guy, this minister is the guy that was if you remember the NDDC interrogation when they said off the mic. He was the guy that was the chairman of that committee. When Akpabio wanted to say, you all people, you are involved in the contract. He was the one that was saying off the mic. Because see, these people, they are criminals. They are criminals, man. We just will tell them, Nigerians, we should wake up. We should just wake up, okay? We should wake up. I don't know why they are like this. We should wake up. This guy, all of them, they rotate themselves. Let's continue again.
Whether they are paid or not, they are they are standing behind Tunji-Ojo at this point. But meanwhile, the presidential candidate elections, Peter Obi has called for everyone culpable in the Betta Edu scandal to be brought to book. Taking to social media, Peter Obi, in a post on X, said Betta Edu's suspension is a welcome development and called for a comprehensive investigation. His tweet reads in part, "It is insensitive for those entrusted with funds for public welfare to literally steal from the poor. I'd like to add my voice with most Nigerians concerned about accountability in government and judicious use of public funds. I welcome the suspension of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Ms. Betta Edu, and subsequent directives for her investigation. While the action of the government is a welcome development, the investigation must be comprehensive so that all those culpable are brought to book." I mean, I do align myself with Peter Obi's tweet because he has said all those culpable, because it is money for the poor. Yesterday, we condemned in strong terms Tunji Ojo's involvement in this whole transaction. Yeah. He is the owner of a company that received funds from this scandal by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. And I do think that he should also do the right thing by stepping aside.
Absolutely. So the group is called the Civil Society for Good Governance, CSGGG. And I'm quite, you would see anything play out in Nigerian politics. No matter what anyone has done, you would see people stand up for them, and you see others who condemn their actions. It is their right, they are able to do it, but it just again speaks to their credibility and integrity, and then the Nigerians have the opportunity to judge as to whether they want to take them seriously or not. The basis for which they are supporting him, very ridiculous, and it's interesting because one of the things that they've said on their website is that they are there to improve service delivery, to inform the people, to improve knowledge that guarantees standards in service delivery. And this doesn't demonstrate what they aim to do in terms of improving knowledge, because what they've demonstrated is actually ignorance in this matter, saying that, because it's just like childhood talk, so let's leave that. But I'll go to what Mr. Peter Obi said, and which is very correct. And this is what he's echoing the calls by a number of people. Dr. Betta Edu didn't act in isolation. And if this situation is going to be used as a deterrent for future occurrences, then there must be all the people who were involved in this must be brought in to be questioned, and whoever is found culpable, even including, I said this when this news broke, the Accountant General of the Federation. Yes, she quickly extricated herself and responsibility, saying that she'd given advice I shouldn't have. I said that, why wasn't it reported? Why wasn't a whistle blown around this? You can't just say that I'm not there. But what did you do to ensure that the monies that was requested wouldn't go through? So those are some of the questions, and people have raised a few questions around that. They also talk about the fact that even civil service, the directors, the permanent secretary, the staff members also be brought in for questioning. Absolutely. And if found guilty, she shouldn't be the only one who should take the fall. Yes. And then goes back again to Mr. Olubunmi Tunji. As much as we expressed our pleasure in what he had done and commendation for the great work he's done, but we said that due process must be followed. The law is the law. If he's found culpable, unfortunately, he also, as a deterrent and a demonstration of a strong commitment to the fight against anti-corruption, must also face the consequences of his action. No one is saying he's guilty yet until the investigation is concluded. What we're saying is that if anyone, irrespective, because nobody is above the law. That has been established. If anyone is found culpable, it must be done. Now, let me just say a little thing about Daniel Bwala, because I've just been laughing. And Dr. Mati, I don't even know what to say. But the truth is that beyond him saying that, beyond that 30-year thing, he said that people had been suffering since this administration started. Yes. However, Oji, you would notice that post-inauguration, May 29, his language changed to more of offering advice to this administration. So perhaps his body language had given an indication to the fact that something was about to happen. A few days ago, Chief Donye Kukbe too said that due to ideological differences, he was going to resign from the Labour Party. They are free to move around. But what I think we should also note, even though we laugh about this, is that it should also speak to the integrity of these men. Yes, this is business as usual in Nigerian politics. But if we are looking to change the game in Nigerian politics, we must must also demand better and more from these people. He spoke here a number of times, bringing down Tinubu's manifesto, saying that he was dead on arrival, saying they should back Atiku. And then a few days later, a few weeks later, he's now coming to say that now Tinubu is the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah. It speaks a lot. And this is the kind of politics we're playing that we're not serious yet in Nigeria.
All right, Dr. Batti, Olubunmi Tunji.
Well, generally, this is part of the hazard, that we face as media people. We give our platforms to all kinds of persons. We promote all kinds of persons. We carry microphone, we put in the mouths of people who, may not even know what they are talking about. But of course, we are in the business of content. So we listen to all sorts, including those who are intelligent and those who are dumb. Now, which is where am I going? It's very easy in this country to rent a crowd.
Yes.
Some people now are sounding like a rented crowd, saying Olubunmi Ojo should be allowed to continue his work. I've also had some people reading ethnic statements saying Betta Edu is our daughter. Give her another chance.
Niger Delta.
Look, people, can't they use their brains? This is not about ethnicity.
Yeah.
If you are given a position of trust, you must also be accountable in that position, which was the point Dr. Ezekesule was making when we spoke to her about accountability. It's not about your religion, it's not about your ethnicity. And yesterday we talked about the relevant laws, okay? The procurement laws, the Code of Conduct law, sections 5 and 6 thereof. We talked about all of that. People are in a fiduciary position. They have fiduciary responsibilities. It's not a question of where they come from, which is why I agree with the points made by Mr. Peter Obi, that the suspension of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs is in order, and that it is a big scandal, that at the same time that Betta Edu is being investigated, and the minister who was there before her is also being investigated. The person in charge of NSIP. And he made the point that let not the impression be created that the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs was created so that people can use it as a conduit pipe.
Yes.
And then you say you are doing poverty alleviation, calling the name of the poor in vain.
Unacceptable.
The same argument made by Mr. Peter Obi and others applies also to Olubunmi Tunji Ojo. What is all this nonsense about he's doing a great work? He's doing no, that's nonsense.
Absolutely.
The issue is that if there is an infraction, it should be established.
Right.
And then talking about the people who put microphone in their mouths. I was looking at that man that was talking. The level of ignorance coming out of his mouth. Sometimes I look at people and say, some of these people, who are they?
He was on Newsnight.
Do they have children at home? Do they have wives at home? Look, let him be educated.
Yeah.
What he was saying, that he's not running the company day to day, he may have founded the company. That's absolute nonsense.
Right.
There's something in company law called lifting of the veil. And the locus classicus here is Solomon versus Solomon. Every elementary sophomoric student of law we know Solomon versus Solomon. What it means is that if you use your company in one way or the other to do any kind of fraudulent activity, the investigators, the law, will lift the veil. Absolutely. You cannot put the veil and say, I'm not involved in day-to-day running. I'm just a shareholder. Right. No, the veil has been lifted.
Absolutely.
What we will now say is that the due process of law must be followed.
Absolutely.
Accountability must be established. Yeah. And I repeat what I said yesterday. President Tinubu must not take the bullet for any of his appointees.
Absolutely. And I would like to leave off by giving this example of Bath Naji. I believe he was appointed power minister during President Goodluck Jonathan's tenure. And, he was found that he had connections with some electricity company that were bidding at the time. And in 2012, he had even resigned his position before he became minister. In 2012, they found out that he had that connection and he was forced to resign. So it is very important that people just accept this in a dignified way. I think Olubunmi Tunji Ojo should do the credible thing and step aside while the investigation takes place. We'll take another story.
I said it. Olubunmi, he was the one in charge of the committee that investigated the Senate chairman. As well was the NDDC chairman then. It was what I was saying, off the mic. These guys, they are all corrupt, man. They are all corrupt. Nigerians, they should wake up. Nigerians should, they are better wake up from the slumber, because this is not this is not just right. Okay, this is not just right. It's not right. I believe we can do better. We can really do better. All right. So for me personally, we should all wake up. We should all wake up. Okay, we should all wake up. Nigeria is too big for us to be joking with. It's too big for us to be joking with. These people they are jokers. They are jokers. We cannot, allow this stuff to be going on. It's not just right. It's not just right, okay? It's not just right. That guy, he need to step down. They said he's doing a good job in the Ministry of Interior Affairs. What this thing, he has been implicated in this better gate. So he need to step down. He need to step down until we have a thorough investigation. Then, if he's free, they can come back. That's how it is, man. Better Edu, I'm suspended. The same thing. Look, she was not involved alone. That is the truth. As I said before, 44 billion naira that was stolen right now has died down. Meanwhile, her own is just 400 and something million. So you see, there are many things happening. Many things happening. We should not cover up things, then use her as a scapegoat. No. Everybody that is involved in it. Because I said I heard it yesterday, she will talk. Many people are involved. She was just used. Maybe she was naive for her to allow herself to be used. Yeah, I say she was naive for her to use her head. She should be she should be smart, man. She should be smart, smarter than this stuff. Anyway, they are all reaping their rewards, all of them. That is the truth, which is good. I like this stuff that is going on. I like it. Let them. This government was not built on credibility. We all know that. So I don't really care about them. But I care about having a good Nigeria, making Nigeria work again. People, integrity. What do you expect? If the head is like that, what do you expect the body to be? It's like that, man. If the head is good, this is will be there. I mean, before you shake, before you cough, you have to say, man, my the guy at the top. If he hears something like this now, what is going to do? But when you know that the guy at the top, if you don't do anything, and had it been not the social media that is carry all this stuff now, nothing would have happened. Okay, nothing would have happened. So because social media, that is carrying, that is why they just have to act. Anyway, I listen to Connector Coco. What he had to say about the Kukwe and some other people and some other things. I want to listen to. Let's listen to Coco. To Coco, as you are talking, I hope you are not on the way to go out to. I hope you're not on the way to go out. Yeah, because people are like that too. People are like that. People are like that. People are like that. So let's listen to. Let's listen to. Um, let's go to this. Let's go to this question, okay? Yeah. Okay, guys, let's watch this. This is
My name is Dr. Duyo Kupwe. I resigned from the party yesterday, but I have no grounds or guide towards anyone. It is purely and solely on ideological basis. I've been in politics for over 40 years, and my political lineage or leaning and pedigree is towards free enterprise and liberal democracy. We did, in fact, go into Labour Party just as a special purpose vehicle, so that our presidential candidate, our flag bearer, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, could find a platform on which to contest the elections. We had hoped that if we won, we would have had to sit down with the Labour leaders and find a common position, because neither of us is a Labour person or a leftist. But it was expedient for us at that time to find a platform, and we did find one. And I have been particularly very respectfully treated. I've enjoyed my stay in Labour Party, but because of these ideological differences, I had to resign. But I wish the party well, and I also wish my principal, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, every success in his future endeavor.
Okay, welcome back. Well, yes, indeed, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo joins us here this morning, spokesperson of former presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Good morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, by the way,
Nigerians.
I was talking about 5,000 naira for third-party insurance. No, I've been corrected. It is actually 15,000 naira for third-party insurance. So multiply that by, say, if a state has 10 million or 15 million people who have registered. That's how much we're talking about. Who will cancel that money? What happened to that money? Because I know you don't even bother. After you register, you pick and just say, please, let them carry their wallet and go. You don't do anything with it. Where does the money go?
And when I think the most annoying part, Chamberlain, is that when something happens to your car, nobody knows when you actually claim that money. People still find themselves fixing the cars. Because if we know that insurance truly works, especially the third-party insurance, whenever it is you find car mishaps on the road, we shouldn't see people coming down and fighting. Yeah. It should be a case of I know I have at least third-party insurance, it should be able to take care of fixing your car.
It's just that these days, when that happens, you first of all think, what can 15K do now with this accident?
No, that's not how it works. That's not how it's supposed to work. It's the minimum you pay, but whenever it is that something happens, there should be an allowance, within which you should be able to fix your car.
Yeah, but third-party insurance.
Guys, sorry. Let's let's see to Okonkwo analysis. Some interesting response to some interesting answers to questions. Okay, that is what we need to do. Okay, all right, guys. Let's listen to Okonkwo. All right, let's listen to him.
If I'm involved in an accident with you, the insurance is to take care of your car. That's why it's called third party.
Yeah.
Now, insurance is a business strategy where the fortunate helps the unfortunate. So it doesn't mean their liability is going to be restricted to 15,000.
Indeed.
They ought to take care of the car. That is why you pay whether you have accident or not. So the accumulated money, when you become unfortunate, they ought to take care of it.
Wait, doesn't it elapse after a year?
No, that's what I'm saying.
So you just pay it every year?
Yes.
So whether you pay for 5-10 years
without having any accident, is their money. That is why they would have to come to your aid to take care of all the liability, not just the 15,000. So the fortunate pulls money together to help the unfortunate.
I like what they say. Test the law.
Exactly.
Go there. Go out there.
Exactly. Thank you for that clarification.
No,
that's why it's good to have lawyers in the studio.
I actually read business administration before reading law.
So you see. Okay, now another lawyer was in the villa yesterday. I'm sure you must have seen that picture as well. Because he was there, and of course, but wait a minute. If the president calls you, Mr. Okonkwo, won't you go?
In Nigeria, after seeing that picture, I think everybody is a suspect, including me.
Oh, dear.
It's just that I've not had enough evidence to convict myself. There's nothing wrong in seeing the president. You don't say no to a president. But there's something wrong when you psychophantically make a 360 degree to all the principles you say you hold dear, what have changed? Now, the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He has the right to command me to come and see him. I would not have a choice in it, but I would have a choice to what I would say. I would have a choice to my demeanor when I had finished seeing him. What he cannot command is what I would say. But if he says I must see him, I have to see him. He's in charge of the security of myself, including me. You have to respect the office of the president. From where I come from, there is an adage that when you're giving a message to the king, you can deliver the message. But when you're told to go and carry the king, you cannot go to carry the king. So it is really very pathetic.
In other words, they may say politics is a game of interest. Your brand of politics doesn't accommodate this kind of interest.
The game of integrity. You're driven by what was your intention when you decided to join politics. I couldn't have left my comfort zone as a movie actor, a pioneer one for that matter, to come into politics and begin to be sycophantic. What else do you want to give me? Fame? Fortune? I believe before you get into politics, you should have minimal of all these things so that you wouldn't be thrilled by them. I would prefer to be called Kenneth, the servant. There is a need that you have to live your life in service of God and service of humanity. That should be the only force that should drive you into getting into politics. You said you didn't like Muslim ticket. You left on your own volition. Has the Muslim ticket been solved? If you are talking about corruption, there are two beautiful achievements this government has achieved since they came into power. Give it to them. And that is consumption and corruption. So, would you say these things have been addressed? What would be your reason to getting into the ruling party? How can you convince people that it is not because of the quest for power and quest for money? You should be able, whenever you want to make a move, why do you want to make the move? It is not the move that is the problem. Even in court, even in judgment, they'll tell you it's not the ratio that is the problem. What was the reason for the ratio?
But, yeah, okay.
Well, I was just thinking, my mind was traveling quite a bit because, you know, you've said a lot of things. You've talked about integrity. You've talked about even your own motivations for moving. First, for joining politics, I mean to say, first I was just wondering, and this is just an aside, you know, whether or not it is not possible to be a movie actor at the same time be a politician. Are there two things that are, you know, mutually exclusive?
No.
So you could still have continued in your career.
Absolutely. But you see, most of these jobs are jobs you cannot delegate. As an actor, I play the lead 98% of the time. Mm-hmm. I'm expected to come first. I'm expected to go last. Serving the people is a full-time job. You can be called at any time. If I leave the movie set, everything will stand still until I come back. So at a certain point, I was combining both. And when I saw that I was getting deeper, and both are going to suffer because you can't delegate either. And being a perfectionist, anywhere I am in, I want to give my best. One has to give way.
I see. Okay, so let me come back now, because you have also been a member of the APC. You defected from the APC to join the Labour Party. And I do not know what it was that made you join the APC, but I want to imagine that when you leave a party, you know, for whatever reason you leave a party to another party, the people there do not automatically become enemies, do they?
First of all, I'm always not very comfortable with the word defection. I resigned from APC and I joined another party. You defect when you move from a party to another. Let's say you are a member of the National Assembly. And in Nigeria, you must be a member of a political party to hold any office. Mm-hmm. So there won't be any chance for you to resign. In that circumstance, you can defect. Good. But when you resign and join another party, that's not defection.
Okay, because you're not holding any public office.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, well, but I think the point I was trying to make is the fact that the people you met there, yes, some of them are people that you would have made friends with.
Till today, they are still my friends.
Exactly. So
it has nothing to do.
How does it work then?
In APC.
Yeah, how does it, I mean, how do you manage such relationships?
Oh, beautifully well. When you relate on the intellectual plane, there's nothing personal about it. You can be entitled to your own opinion, but you cannot be entitled to your own facts. So when you are honest and you put the facts on the table, everybody says it. You may be surprised that Nigerians know the truth. They simply don't have the will to implement the truth. Those people that are running to go and shake hands, they know the truth. Because it was the truth purportedly that made them to leave the place in the first place. So, if you are going back to the same place you left, purporting on the basis of truth, you better be able to convince people that there is another truth you have discovered that is non-existent. Okay, so, it doesn't make you enemies at all.
Okay.
But it makes you to differ.
Okay, so because a major defection happened from your party, Labour Party, to, well, I do not know that Dr. Doyo Kukwe has entered in any other political party.
That's why you wouldn't use the word defection.
Exactly. Well, so maybe
major resignation.
A major resignation. Let's just use the word, let's use your term, resignation.
No,
but a major, leaving of a party happened within your own party. The former DG campaign manager of the Peter Obi and Dati campaign organization, resigned from the Labour Party. And he gave his reasons. He says it was on ideological grounds, that they had left a party, the PDP, a bit in a hurry, almost, and they were looking for a special purpose vehicle. And they found the Labour Party. For them, it was just a vehicle. The ideology, according to him, didn't quite sit well with them, but they figured, after we get to office, we can always figure that out. It didn't quite work out. And now this is where he is, and he's finding that he's unable. He's not exactly a leftist. That's what he said. And he doesn't think that he believes in market principles. So he's resigned from the party. But it doesn't appear that the Labour Party is saying it his way. They think that he has something up his sleeve, and that, this is about politicians not being truthful. Why do you think the Labour Party is quick to reach a conclusion like that when he hasn't exactly joined any other party?
Well, first of all, he has the absolute right of freedom of assembly and freedom of association. It is his fundamental right. So I respect it. And I wish him well. Now, I wouldn't have had anything against it, but I have reservations on the reasons he gave. I must have to say that word, special purpose vehicle, I always cringe when I hear it. Because when we were in the process of campaign, I remembered one tape that was exposed by one Michael. And he said special purpose vehicle is the vehicle that politicians use to siphon money in the name of consultancy contract award. So I am uncomfortable with his choice of words. If you wanna ask me, I'll say it's ill-advised. Because when you say ideological differences, it was existing before you entered the party. could it then be that you are an opportunist? Because you said, and I'm talking about what he said, the only reason you entered was to go and contest the election. And the question is this: if he had gone into the election and won, every degree of responsibility that he constructively had left the party, because I wasn't aware of any other interaction he had with the party. I wasn't aware. So I think he just verbalized it. So that's all I can say about it.
But why do you think he left, though?
Well, you wouldn't have been asking me when he wrote it down in his own resignation
you said
letter.
You didn't quite agree
with the wordings
reasons
of his letter.
Yeah, so I'm asking, what do you then think is the reason why he left?
No, I am saying I differ with his choice of words. I'm not like saying good. He said it's his reasons. And I'm saying I differ with it. There was nothing about him when we were campaigning that showed me that he entered into this just to win or lose the election.
Okay, so if you were in his shoes,
that was not my opinion.
If you were in his shoes, what would you have done?
What would I have done?
Yeah.
My goodness. What would I have done if I wanted to resign? If I was in his shoes, at his age, I would be thinking about how to go and stay with my grandchildren. Maybe. If I believe, because he has sampled all the parties, and he said he's a rightist. I wonder which party in Nigeria now has a clear ideology of right or left.
So it's interesting you say that, because I mean, only yesterday, a colleague of mine, on the sister program, Politics Today, interviewed Professor Patutomi, and on his mega party plans. Professor Patutomi is no stranger to you, and he was talking about the state of political parties in Nigeria and how, parties do not exactly have ideologies, and that's why we see these defections or resignations, if you prefer. Resignations.
That's why I'm surprised.
And he was talking about how in South Africa, the ANC, how party policies, government policies are discussed even at the ward levels. So when politicians have this thing about, other people having, there's some politicians who have said, look, I'm in this political party, I don't intend to leave this party. I don't care how it does. This is going to be me till the day I die. There are politicians who have said that. There are politicians who have said it, and we're not quite sure where they are. But there are politicians who have stayed true to themselves. Let's put it that way. And there are those who say, look, I agree with this party today, but I see that it no longer fits with my ideology or what I personally believe, and I move to another party tomorrow. Do you think that those politicians should be condemned, given the fact that you have just admitted that there's basically no ideology to, a number of political parties in Nigeria?
Good. I did not say there is no ideology. I said there's no clear-cut ideology. And then people mutate according to different reasons. You will see a president who will go in and he has a different ideology from his party in Nigeria. And the party will become confused. APC, for instance, if you read their manifesto, you'll be so thrilled. And if they had followed the manifesto, there wouldn't have been any reason they wouldn't have achieved their objectives. They talked about restructuring. They talked about state police. They talked about 1 naira to $1. And if they had followed those steps, they would have arrived at the decision. Then a president came in and said, sorry, I don't even know what you're talking about. So there is no dedication. There is no determination. There is no discipline. When you don't have this, sorry, you cannot have consistency in creativity that will give you the objectives that you want. So it is in a state of flux. That's why when I hear somebody saying ideological differences, which one? So what we have in Nigeria now is that you identify a politician that you believe has the commensurate character, competence, and capacity that you know can generate the ideas that can solve Nigeria problems, not the issue of party. Because you have to establish party discipline first before you can say the party can, impose its will on its elected members. That we don't have. When people are elected in Nigeria, they become leaders of the party. And what the party had in mind electing them becomes secondary and subordinates itself to their majesty. So because of that system, it is better if you're looking for a new Nigeria, for instance. That's the only reason we entered Labour Party, to identify the politicians that have these qualities, irrespective of whatever they have in their manifesto. Recall that when I was the former presidential spokesperson, I did tell Nigerians, please ignore whatever is in the manifesto. Whoever wants to be your president must come and sit down and tell you what he has for you, and you cross-examine him. In absence of that, whatever you see in the manifesto is just the beautiful, brilliant work of one professor somewhere that will end up in a dustbin. And quote me on that.
Ayo.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. Well, Mr. Okonkwo, let me use legal language. I put it to you that you have looked at my script as an actor, because you have taken from my script to say some of the things. Particularly,
I certainly love that script because it's an interesting one.
First, because I was actually going to ask
for plagiarism.
Don't worry, I won't sue you, I promise. But I was actually going to take you up on the issue of ideological politics, and I'm glad you mentioned it and Mark followed up on that. Maybe we should take that a little further. And I always make this reference for those who are not aware of where we are coming from politically in Nigeria. In the First Republic, we had such clear ideological political parties that it was difficult for anyone to just jump from one party to another. In the Second Republic, it was the same. I don't recall the process by which someone would just jump from one party to another, confusing their own followers and all of that, and just saying, well, my people said. In the Third Republic, it was just two political parties, but it was also very, very clear. In these three republics, we had the supremacy of the party. We had the chairman of the party being the overall boss, and the president or whoever was elected was subordinate to the party. Now, that has greatly changed. The funding of political parties is equally as difficult, because back in time, it was the people that funded the political parties by their contributions. How do we get back there in a way that it's not just one leader of the party, as you said, who is an elected official that governs and rules over everything, as opposed to the party leading the charge of what they promised Nigerians?
The way we will get back to that is rule of law. In Nigeria, elected officers are the first malfeasants. They are the first culprits that break the law at will. The laws are there. Even in the party constitution, the laws are there. But once somebody catches any political power, he sees himself as being above the law. You can imagine, you catch somebody driving the wrong way, and he will boldly tell you, I am a soldier, and it's irresponsible of you to catch me driving through the wrong way. This is the mentality. If we can implement the rule of law equally on everybody, that is the only route to get back to that. The days you were talking about, people had shame, they had conscience, and they had the ability to maintain the law. They were just coming out from colonialism, which they spent almost 100 years under. And it has already been entrenched in their DNA that you obey the law or you pay the penalty. So that is just what is happening. Indiscipline.
Okay.
Corruption. Carelessness.
Okay. You are a member of, okay, let me just be clear. Are you a member of the Labour Party?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Can you give us an example of how it happens in the Labour Party, what things you think need to change? Because people hear more of the candidate, the presidential candidate of your party, than we hear of the chairman of the party or the other officials of the party. And then also talk to us about the funding of the political party, because that's another very, very intricate thing that determines to a large extent the ownership or leadership of the party.
Well, like I told you, do not think that Labour Party is exempted from indiscipline. You know, before P2B came into Labour Party, they didn't have much of elected officers. So you can only test the level of their discipline after we have now had some members that are elected. When this government wanted to corruptly enrich the members of the National Assembly by giving them 165 million naira each of 100% imported SUV, the Labour Party kicked against it. The Labour Party said, no, we don't want this. Nigerians are too hungry to afford this. But not one of the elected representatives of Labour Party, not to my knowledge, came out to forcefully say, my party has said this, and I'm not part of it. That is what we're saying. And that's why I said, unless the party elected leaders subordinate themselves to the ideology of their parties, we will not get there. And that is why I'm saying, whoever becomes the president is very, very important. I know what P2B would have done. He did it in Anambra State. He was going with only 2 or 3 vehicles. He would drive himself to the filling station, and they will fill the cars, and he will pay. He will bring out money as governor and pay for it. Whatever money he's giving out, he's supervising it. So if P2B, for instance, I'm just saying, had been president, then who are you to go and tell him he will spend 165 million naira to purchase SUV for you? And he will ask you, because that's what he will do. He will ask you why. And then you will tell him, you know, we have bad roads. You see, the reasons these people give is mind-boggling, that they have bad roads. This government has been, the APC government has been in power for more than 8 years. And they're saying they have bad roads. They need solid cars in order to ply the bad roads which they inflicted on the people. Then P2B will say, okay, give me the list of those bad roads. You are elected people of your place. Let's repair the bad roads so that they can use made in Nigerian cars. So, but these people will say, no, let us acquire this machine. Of course, you know it's not bad roads. They just want to show off so that more of their picadillos can get attracted to them, so that they will continue their
Mr. Okonkwo, while in a number of people might speak to the probity of what you are saying, there are those who would also see that as erroneous in a democracy, because the independence of the legislature is very, very clear, particularly at the federal level. So I don't know, do you think the president would have had a say or would have been able to say no to the legislature doing whatever they wanted, as opposed to the people taking them on by themselves? Because you know that they have a first-line charge. Do you think the president would have had any say in whether or not these legislators at the federal level did whatever they wanted to do?
First of all, according to the Constitution, the subheads of every expenditure is initiated by the executive. The legislature has the right only to approve. So you cannot be a member of the legislature and force it on the executive that you must drive SUV. Because everything must have to be in the Appropriation Act. But then if you're a president, you cannot be driving the most powerful SUV and then you have the right to tell the Senate president, no, you can't drive this. So if the president, for instance, says, it is the policy of this government that every official of the government must drive made in Nigerian car, it becomes a policy. The duty of the National Assembly is to make laws.
Okay.
Not to execute them or administer them. So if the president himself is using made in Nigerian car, I'll tell you, no member of the National Assembly will ever even have the guts to ask for it.
Now, talking about the travel policy that the president recently came up with, of course, your candidate has also spoken about that one. But we had a guest in our studio yesterday saying that there are some things that the president cannot control. For instance, the president cannot control his own protocol. He can't control his own security. So in the name of cost cutting and all of that, do you think he was right? The senator we had in the studio yesterday saying there is nothing the president would have been able to do to say that his security personnel or his security protocol will not travel with him. But that, the news is that the president wants the security in all the various states to take care of him. But protocol says he must be taken care of by specially trained people because he's the president of the most populous black nation in the world.
You know, whoever said that does not have what it takes to be an elected representative of the people. You're telling the president. If the president cannot control his own security, how can he control the security of all the 200 million Nigerian citizens? What a logic. It falls so flat. The president is in charge. When Peter Obi was governor, they told him when you're traveling, large people will follow you. He said, no, I can carry my suitcase. If I enter the plane from the east, they will drop me in Abuja and I will ask the IG to send me like 2 policemen or 5 policemen. When they take me from the airport to the hotel, I'll dash them maybe 5,000, 10,000. And they will go and I'll just stay my 2 days and I will come back. And he cut cost completely. He's still alive. Forget those stories. Was he not the president that now came out and told you he has cut down on the protocols and that whenever he's visiting any state, the state should take care of his security? So was he not the president that said it? Then is he not now controlling the security? So forget all this sycophantic, unnecessary, illogical reasoning just to attract attention and favor from the leaders.
So you don't agree? You don't agree that there are some things that the president may not be aware of, particularly concerning the protocols around him? Because there are those who say that there are specialties around such, that protect, VIP protection they call it. That there's a special training for such persons, particularly that of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You don't agree that it is that special?
The guiding of the president is one of the topmost security issues in the world. Because harming a president has a lot of ramifications, including the destruction of a country. So there is a need for very, very special people to guard the president. There's no anybody that tells you it's not important, does not know anything about administration. It is very important, and I want the best hands to guard the president. That's not what I'm saying. That does not make you corrupt. You know, forget all these optics. I heard that the president came out and said he has reduced the numbers of people that follow him. These are optics. We're not talking about reducing the numbers. We're talking about reducing the cost. I will tell you the difference. If the president is serious that he has drawn down expenses in that field to the tune of 60%, let him immediately raise a supplementary budget so that 60% will go into savings transparently. When you say you have reduced the numbers, it doesn't mean that you have achieved anything. Why did I say so? The politicians will know how to die the money because it is already appropriated for. If you say, I should take 5 persons to make trips, I'll say, okay, in order to die the money, I'll just double the number of trips I'll make. And it will be the same cost. I can increase the feeding allowance, or what I will call in the local palace, chop money, that I'm giving them. Instead of giving them 10 naira, if I increase it to 20 naira, it will come to the same cost. Enough of these optics.
Okay.
When you want to reduce cost, you reduce it and put it in saving, and it will be there. Not saying you have reduced numbers. That will have nothing to do with the cost.
Even though
reappropriated.
Even though the spokesperson to the president said that reducing the number directly or indirectly affects the costs as well, particularly for international trips. But you may respond to that one. But the question that I'd like to ask you next before I toss back to my colleagues, just 1 second. You can take the two together, but the question I'd like you to speak to Nigerians about now is the rhetorics that should be following some of the actions of the president. What would you be saying to young people right now? You also said something that there are some steps that the president has taken that are commendable and we should give it to him. But that's not the rhetoric that a good number of people hear. What should Nigerians be doing? Because at this moment, we have a president in office. At this moment, we have governors in office who, one way or the other, a number of people are saying they're not really cooperating with the federal government. How should that collaboration happen between federal and state governments, and what should Nigerians be looking out for to ensure whether or not those collaborations are working?
Well, first of all, the word commendability is your word, not mine. I never said there are things that they have done that should be commended. I said there are 2 achievements that they have made, and that is consumption and corruption. If you would commend these things, I would not commend them. I would rather condemn them. Because we're talking about shifting emphasis from consumption to production. And what they have been doing since they came in is consuming, not producing. And of course, in a corrupt manner. Corruption is the abuse of public power for private gain. The dictionary will tell you that corruption means the fraudulent and dishonest conduct of people in power, specifically involving bribery, typically involving bribery. I don't need to tell you, that is what has just been going on. You can imagine a ministry called Special Purpose Vehicle. I think that should be the best name for the social investment program or humanitarian ministry. Can you imagine this ministry that is devoted purportedly to help the poor and the vulnerable? Okay, let us even assume, without conceding, that 585 million is meant for vulnerable people. And then you're spending 3-point-something billion naira for consultancy service award. When you hear such name, like I told you, it is the name politicians use to divide money among themselves and siphon it for their use. That's all. What are you consulting? Now, you're spending 3-point-something billion consultancy fee. One minister got 428 million naira of that money. And you're giving 4 states 585 million. Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Lagos, Ogun. In Lagos State, people are falling off and falling into Atlantic Ocean from the third mainland bridge committing suicide because of economic hardship. More than 20 million persons. Yet, you're dashing politicians 3-point-something billion, and you're giving 4 states 585 million. Unfortunately, that 585 million wouldn't even have gotten to them. As you can see, they say it was paid into a private account, which they are still trying to sort out whether the account is existing or not. Is that what you want me to commend? I condemn it with everything that is within me. And I will tell the youths of this country, don't ever learn to be like these people. Have conscience, have character.
One more thing before you go. Let's talk about parties, new party that Prof was talking about yesterday. Should we expect a new political party? Is Labour Party going to be part of it? What's your impression about it?
You know, personally, I believe that there has to be a kind of coalition. It's always advisable, because in any known democracy, two-party system will eventually be dominant. And that's the only way the opposition can make reasonable impact. And when it is an issue of Nigeria, it becomes almost mandatory. Where even if you win, you have to defend, unfortunately, your victory. So there is a necessity for that
to happen.
But you see, if they don't start early, grooming people who will take over the party to be people of ideology, people of character, the same virus.
Would you be part of it?
Infected, the other people will infect them.
Would you be part of this if called upon?
Watch me and watch where I am going.
Where are you going?
To a new Nigeria.
Okay, because...
And whatever is going to bring it to come to pass, I will be willing to be part of it.
Maybe it's early days,
and in any circumstance that I see that every of the platforms are infected and infiltrated, I will do sit-down look.
Oh, okay. Because people wonder how that will play out. Because when he spoke about those other 3 persons, Atiku, Kwankwaso, Peter Obi, they all wanted to be president. So one wonders how that will play up in that mix. It will be interesting to see.
Oh yes, if they only had been disciplined to the rules stated in their party constitution, there wouldn't have been any confusion.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Right. I always like Antokoko analysis. I like his analysis. He's always, he's always. I mean, he stays straight ahead. He doesn't joke with it. That's why I like him. That is why I like to please analysis and so many things. I just come in now. I mean, about an hour ago when I started this stream. Fubara is with Tinubu. Maybe you know what is happening. We know what is happening in River State. Fubara should wake up. That's what I will say. But I don't. As I said, I don't really care about Fubara here. But he should wake up. By now, it should be true with Tinubu. So I don't know what. If maybe before I go, if I have the news, I'll let you guys know. Okay, if I have the news of what transpired between him and Tinubu this evening, I will let you guys know. But Fubara should be careful with the Wiki and I don't really understand these people. So most Tinubu be saying, if you have grievances, that is what I don't understand. Like governor of a state, you have your own willpower. I should use that word. You have your constitution to follow. Most Tinubu that is APC, that's you that's in PDP, you are Wiki. You don't get it. That was why you went the last time. They gave you paper, write things for you to sign. You signed. And after you said, people are not saying on your behalf that you are privileged to sign it, and you are there again now. And yesterday, the so-called House of Assembly River State that resigned from PDP to APC, that decamped rather, and people were thinking maybe they should go because you've resigned from the party. That means you've lost your seat in House of Assembly. They told you, they sent to you that you must. It's nonsense. Anyway, Edo State elections is up on is gathering momentum. We all know that. It's gathering momentum. We all know that. So this guy Shaibu, the deputy governor, is not gonna help the governor, and is a script that has been played out. That shows that don't ever trust politicians. Don't ever trust politicians. They will sell you out, and what we favor them, that's what what they go after. That is the truth. So if you're a politician, you're having a personal enemy, or you're on your own. It's on your own, because they will definitely, frustrate your life. Now, Shaibu is fighting up and down. I don't know, fighting up and down. What is in his mind right now? I don't know. I mean, he's just trying to suffering and smiling, I should say. Let's listen to some analysis on the Edo
We
election.
witnessed frictions between the governor, Godwin Obaseki, and his deputy, Philip Shaibu. But the dust seems to have settled. The Edo State Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, formally declared his intention to contest the 2024 governorship election in Edo State under the banner of the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP, in November last year, describing himself as 100% homeboy, an allusion to the clamor that the next governor of the state must be someone who knows the state very well and not someone imported. A veiled reference to the touted candidate of Governor Obaseki, Shaibu hinged his campaign on 5 pillars of infrastructural development: economic diversification, education, and sports. Others are skills development and job creation, healthcare, social welfare system, agriculture, rural development, poverty alleviation, environmental sustainability, and transparent governance. He said while working closely with Governor Godwin Obaseki in the past 7 years, a solid foundation for progress had been laid in the state. Joining us on the show this morning to discuss his governorship ambition and plans for the people of Edo State if he emerges victorious is Philip Shaibu, Deputy Governor of Edo State. Good morning, Deputy Governor.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us in the studio.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I know you still talk about your plans for Edo State people, right? We've played the video of when you declared. We've listed some of the plans. But let's start with the big elephant in the room. The people who don't want you to be a governor in November are saying that by November 2024, you will have spent 8 years as deputy governor. And that before now, the former governor, Adams Oshiomhole, now senator, spent 8 years. And that the thing is that both of you are from Edo North. Oshiomhole from Edo North, 8 years. Philip Shaibu from Edo North, 8 years. Not just from Edo North, from the same local government, from the same federal constituency, from, in fact, some say from the same family. That there is no difference between the two of you. And that this is why, in 2016, when you were chosen as the running mate to Obaseki, people protested. And that now, after spending 8 years, another person from the same local government, same federal constituency, wants to be governor again, so that Edo State people would have more than 16 years of people from the same local government, from the same family, running Edo State. This is the big elephant in the room. Now, some people have now argued to say, okay, even if Edo North can still have a slot at the governorship of Edo State, it must not be only from the same town, the same village, the same local government. It can go to other places in Edo North. After all, you have Akoko Edo in Edo North. After all, you have the 201s, East 01, West 01, Must it be from the same Oshomole compound? This is the big elephant in the room. What do you have to say?
Well, I want to thank you for having me in the studio. It's interesting. First, actually, I was persuaded, and there was no protest. Actually, I didn't want to be deputy governor. I was very comfortable in House of Representative. I was persuaded. It took almost 1 month to get me to accept to be the deputy governor of Edo State. And there was no protest. It was persuasion. And my supporters and others said, look, you have to be there. And I accepted. Why? To add value to the ticket of Obaseki, because Obaseki was not known and he was not one of the politicians. So they needed a young, vibrant politician that has won election before and that can add political value and to the ticket. So I was actually persuaded to do. And the issues of whether I'm from Edo, Edo North, Shomole, Clean and everything, I think it's just an imagination of the governor and his team. And they are pushing it just to have his partner to be the governor of Edo State. And that will not work. The people on ground, I'm a street person. And when I mean I'm a street person, I'm a really street person. When you go deep down to check the feelings of the people, they need somebody that they know, somebody they can touch, somebody that is with them. And if I must use the governors and his team word, they need somebody that is with them in the pepper soup joint. But they are now struggling to be in the pepper soup joint, and they cannot be there. And the pepper soup joint thing is that somebody that they can see, somebody they can feel. And I represent that person that they can feel. And that's what Edo people are yearning for now. Edo people don't want to experiment again. And one thing we should know, Edo election, we have midterm election. Any governor that is coming in have the first 1 year and the 3rd year to work. Because if you don't start your program from day one, as you are going into the 2nd year, you are preparing for national election. And as the national election is over, you are preparing for either your 2nd term or for another governorship election. So Edo State don't have time to experiment. We've experimented with Governor Godwin Obaseki. And some of us have to go extra mile to cover the gaps. People are saying Shaibu is one popular deputy governor. I only have 2 portfolios in government, but I have to be filling the gaps because I am close to the people, I know what they feel. And so coming in from Esako, from Uzari, Shomole is from Ward 10 and from Ward 11, it's not the real issue. The real issue is what value am I bringing in? And if we want to talk about zoning and agenda, the real agenda is that Edo North has never been given ticket to contest for governorship of Edo State by the People's Democratic Party. And so when we go into the equity and fairness that the governor is sponsoring, that equity and fairness seems to favor PDP giving the ticket to Philip Shaibu. There are 2 of us that have come out from Edo North, Philip Shaibu and Ambassador Balogun. Ambassador Balogun is from Mesako East, I am from Mesako West. Nobody has come out from Onwa West, Onwa East, or Akoko Edo. So you can't force people to come and contest an election when they are not interested. So if any other person have come out from the other zone, of course the people will choose who they want. But I can tell you that the governorship of Edo State next year will not want an outsider. And the governor is trying to bring an outsider. And we will resist it. My contesting this election is not because just for the fluke. The people are interested in it, and that is why anywhere I go, you can see the organic support. My support is not procured, just the way the governor is wasting taxpayers' money to procure support for his candidate.
So from what I can hear, Deputy Governor, the relationship between you and the governor is totally broken down. There's a breakdown in your relationship, and I can hear that. There are 2 things I want to ask you, because from what you say, from the very beginning, it seemed as if you were introduced to Governor Obaseki's campaign to help his campaign because you were more popular.
Yes.
Do you consider this a betrayal? Because I'm sure there must have been some sort of agreement for you to have taken on that role. For you, maybe 8 years down the line, he would then support your ambition to be governor. So do you consider that a betrayal? So then the second question, very quickly, is because in addition to the governor supporting and Mr. Ighodalo, I'm sure, Aso Ighodalo, the members of Edo North, led by Chief Mike Ogiadome, have also endorsed him. They had a meeting at Chief Ogiadome, who was the former deputy governor of Edo State House in Fuga, and they anointed him as their preferred candidate. That must surely hurt your campaign. And how does that make you feel, knowing that at least people that you must have worked with, whom you perhaps assumed were going to support you in your bid to becoming governor, have now put their weight behind the man that the governor is supporting?
Yeah, I think let me start from the second question. Chief Michael Ogiadome is a leader I respect so much, and we've had an encounter in 2023 where he has to use the government office of the deputy governor machinery to come and rig election in my ward, and it was resisted by the people. Yeah, and we joined PDP. Our mutual Reverend Father tried to reconcile us. So Ogiadome is somebody that I respect very well. But the meeting that took place in his house is just a meeting of him and some leaders and senior special assistants of the governor and special advisor. There's no party man, party executive that were in that meeting. No, the senatorial chairman is the one that ought to call for such a meeting. And I, as the deputy governor, in quote, the leader in Edo North, by my virtue of being the deputy governor, must sanction such meeting. So the meeting was called at the instance of former deputy governor. He knows that what he has done obviously offends the office. It's just an aberration, and it's leadership, an elder trying to provoke the anger of the people. And that's why I told all my supporters not to be provoked. We should be focused. Let's face what it is. So what he has done is null and void and doesn't have any consequence. And when you look at that table, all of them that are sitting at that table, for the past 4 elections, they've not won their unit or ward, including Michael Ogiadome. So how does it add value to PDP? It doesn't add value to PDP in terms of the party. It doesn't add value to PDP in terms of general election, because Chief Ogiadome, former deputy governor, former deputy chief of staff, former chief of staff to the president, for the past 3 elections, he has not won his unit and ward in general election. So it doesn't have any value. But it just gives them that feeling that just to create this media hype, somebody is being supported. But that we that are playing the practical politics knows that have no consequences. They are not offended my campaign. But the
first question, a betrayal.
I feel betrayed by the governor. I feel very betrayed. Not just being betrayed. You see, when we go to church, there are certain biblical verses that is becoming to make meaning to me. There's this particular verse that I've been going through my mind since this incident started, especially the last one that just happened again, coming to Auchi Day first today. The heart of man is desperately wicked. So when I see what the governor is doing and relate it to what the verses of the Bible say, it's now making meaning to me. Because I added value in terms of my political structure, in terms of finances, in all the vehicles that were used to campaign in 2016 are mine. I added value for the second term. The second term, my not political father. Shomole is not my political father. Shomole is like a father to me because of a long-term relationship. I grew up to see him as my father. But we came into politics in Edo to fight godfatherism. And according to him, we needed to free resources that are being used to service Godfather for us to be able to develop our state. And actually, when we fought those Godfathers, frankly speaking, the money was free to do development. And that's why we now have Red Roof and all those stuff. So I bought into it. So this time, when he now wants to be Godfather, because when we're fighting Godfather, we didn't say he has to be X and X. And I saw that the governor was to be oppressed, for him to be disqualified in that manner. And for me, I hate oppression. We had to put in again. I stake my relationship. That relationship, I lost about 20% of my political capital in a donut to support Godwin Obaseki. And in supporting him, even as deputy governor that did not have any line financially, through my friends and others, I supported the second term bid of the governor with my structure, all my vehicles, with finances.
Yeah, guys. Shaibu talking, speaking. We'll still go back to him anyway. I just wanted us to. I'll go back to him. Let's just listen to him. Then I'll try to see if I can provide the video of Betta and Tinubu this evening. No problem. Don't see it, no problem. Let's see to them.
Betrayed. But what is most important is that the switch. It's not like you put off light and put on light. There was no, I've sacrificed even my personal earning, even my entitlement, just to have the system work. Because I came into politics not for myself. It's to fix the system. I'm coming from a background of fighting government to do what is right. Okay. As former president of NANS. So I'm in the system to show that those, we know, great thing we were doing, fighting government, to have an egalitarian society is possible. Okay. So that's why I brought him. Okay. And that is value I'm still bringing as a governor of the Edo State.
But the argument from Obaseki's camp is this, that you betrayed him. That this was not supposed to be. Your ambition and all of this fight and break part, that you betrayed him. The argument a lot of people have against you is the fact that you betrayed Oshomole, your father. So you have also betrayed a lot of people. And going back to the Bible, like you were quoting, the heart of man is desperately wicked, who can fathom it and all of that. The Bible also says, do unto others what you want done unto you. But a lot of your critics are saying, you too have not done unto others what they want done unto you. They claim betrayal. Secondly, they say this your ambition too is betraying the hopes and aspirations of the Edo Central people. Where Asue Godalo, the big elephant is in room, I'm sure it's the one that you are saying we don't want foreigners in town. But they are saying since the time of the botched administration of Professor Sarami Osumbo, which is also, I hear, is also trying to run in this race, that they've had nothing in Central. That what do you want them to do? People are also saying that you don't even have your leg firmly rooted in Edo North. That you struggle to win elections there. And all of that. So these are all the things they have against you. They call you a betrayal too. That's the position of Obaseki, and he constantly says it. He calls you a betrayer. And I don't know, you guys have tried settling your fight, but it's not happening again. That's why I want to ask, did he make a promise to you that he was going to give you governor when he leaves?
There was no formal discussion on who becomes the governor after Obaseki.
So he didn't promise you
There
anything?
was no formal discussion on that. There was no formal discussion on that. What betraying? Well, if anybody says I betray Shomole, then the person is not correct. Why it's not correct is that anybody that see how we started, we did a rally that Babangida was even present, where we said no to Godfatherism, one man, one vote, one Philip Shaibu, one vote, one Shomole, one vote. And we all came with that matter, no to Godfatherism. So if we agree as a group to say we will fight Godfathers, so anybody that come out, even if Philip Shaibu try to be Godfather, it should be crushed. Even the governor, to tell you that, even the governor in 2020, he came out publicly to say we came on the platform to rescue Edo State and to fight Godfatherism. And that even he, as governor, if he attempts to be a Godfather, it should be dealt with. So if you are talking about betrayal, there's no betrayal there because it's what we all agreed. Oshomole and I and Obaseki, all of us in that rescue team in 2006, 2007, all agreed that we will come and rescue and take government back to the people. So if I, as Philip Shaibu, keep to that agreement to fight Godfather, whether it's Obaseki, whether it's Oshomole, whether it's me, we should fight against Godfather.
Oshomole made you.
No.
Your deputy governor today,
no.
Oshomole had a hand in it.
Yes.
And you now betrayed that same man. And you're not calling it betrayal.
No.
This same Obaseki was the man that fought tooth and nail with the PDP when they said they should drop you as part of the ticket. He fought everything for you to get you on the ticket. Yeah. But now they say you are betraying him.
Okay, Oshomole did not make me. No.
Who influenced you being deputy governor?
Yes, he was one of them. But in terms of political, he didn't make me.
Okay.
I was former president of NANS. I grew from the rank, from class rep to welfare secretary of Student Union, University of Georgia, to the coordinator of Abacha Must Go in this country for 2-3 years. While Kanu was doing man march in Abuja, I was doing anti-Abacha with Ganifa Ami and Beko Rasokuti here, where I was arrested in Yaba and taken to Gusha prison. So I have my history. I became member of Edo State House of Assembly before Oshomole became governor. I organized the first political meeting for Comrade Adan Saliu Oshomole. I organized it. I created 2 groups, Oshomole Youth Alliance from the Student Union Group and People's Movement for Oshomole. Those were movements I created to usher in Oshomole to be governor. He wanted to continue his career as ILO in ILO. But I got Shagade and others to tell him to come and contest for governor because at that time we needed somebody and he accepted. So in terms of who was in politics first, I worked for all of them. So in terms of for Oshomole to be governor, I created the first major structure, the second major structure from the Youth Alliance. For Obaseki to be governor, I was drafted to give the ticket life. So if we must talk about betrayal now, I think it's the governor.
Okay, real quick.
Not me.
Because we need to go because of time. I want you to campaign to the people of Edo Central that think it's supposed to be their turn now, but you from Edo North wants to take the reins as against their turn. What will you say to Edo Central people as they're watching?
I don't think it's an Edo Central and Edo North thing. It just is those that don't have the charisma and the character to sell themselves that play ethnic and religious politics. For Edo Central, they've had it twice. Edo North have only gotten it once. Edo South have gotten it 4 times. And I'm just told you, PDP has never given any ticket to Edo North person. So for Edo Central, yep.
Some of your critics say you enjoy fighting people. That you fought Oshomole, you are fighting Obaseki, and yet you want this ticket. But for you to get this ticket, you have to go through the primaries within the party. Yeah. And now you are saying the governor is supporting an outsider. Who is that outsider? Could it be Asue Ighodalo, who is from Ewohime in Edo State, who is also from Edo State, right?
Yes.
Will you call him somebody from Edo State? And I say, he's not from Oyo State, he's from Edo State. And he's been captain of industry, chairman, that distinguished lawyer. Yeah. So is he that outsider that you are talking about? Because you have said they want to bring an outsider. We will resist it. Yeah. How are you going to resist it? Yeah. You will go to court. And then secondly, this Godwin Obaseki, he is on record as being the governor who has signed the highest number of MOUs. You can also take credit for that because it's a joint ticket. So what else do you want to do that will be different from his own? So what is that new thing? Are you saying that Obaseki has failed and that you are the person who can come and do something different? What exactly is in that unfinished business in that Osadebe house?
Yeah, there is a lot of things that we need to deal with. I just told you infrastructure need to drive everything we want to do in the state. Majorly, if you check our growth, it's been, it has increased, but at slow pace. And some of the indices that shows that we can do better is to massively face infrastructure, road infrastructure especially, and electricity. We've done some part in terms of electricity. We now have Osiomo power plant. But in terms of transportation, the roads are very, very bad, especially the federal roads. When I become the governor, I will deal with issues of federal roads by creating the old road. We are going to build rail tracks on the old roads. And when the feasibility study for the rail tracks is almost done. In another 1 week, I will show the blueprint of what I want to do. We'll call it Orange Line. Orange Line will be between Oredo, Ipoboha, and Ego. And we'll be having the main line, which we christen Oredo Opela train station. I am bringing that. And there's a lot of traffic in the state. From Limit Junction, we're going to be having an overhead bridge. From Adeswa Junction, we're going to be having an overhead bridge. From 3rd and 2nd is Circular, we're going to be having an overhead bridge, and Rama Park. And from Okpoji Junction in the Edo Central, we're going to be having an overhead. Then by J2 and Aochi, where a lot of lives have been lost, we are going to be having another overhead track. You need movement of goods and services to be able to grow your GDP, because when the whole city is locked down, obviously time wasted is there. So, and industrial park is there. Nothing has actually significantly has happened. I am going to put life into the industrial park. These are projects that we are all agreeing. I'm going to be creating over 20 to 30,000 jobs from sports alone. And I'm going to, agriculture will have a face. I'm going to be having cluster of cash crops in various areas, and I'm going to work with federal government and CBN to introduce an agricultural bank. And we are already...
Hey guys, I'm going to stop here for today. So please kindly like, share, and make comments. And we'll be back again, all right? And let me just, I think we're not going to agree for anybody, okay? We're not going to agree for anybody. Let me play that one. But the army has said, make we agree. So army has said, make we agree, okay? People are saying we should not agree for anybody, okay? But anyhow, we don't agree for anybody. Thank you guys for watching. And God bless you all. Kindly like, kindly share. And we need to make Nigeria work, okay? Let's make Nigeria work. That is what I'm going to say.
Our mission,
thank you guys for watching.
Is clear on what needs to be done in winning the war against the terrorists and their cohorts across the country.
We're not going to agree for anybody. This is the army.
We have demonstrated our commitment
okay. But please let
by our actions to win this war.
All right, guys, that's on the record note.
Troops will therefore act with tremendous force.
Good night, and God bless you all.
Achieve the tasks ahead as we progress in the year 2024. Having said that, I will say this. This year, 2024, I urge citizens of this country to see security as a collective responsibility of all. Therefore, no greed for terrorists, no greed for perpetrators of insecurity.
And let me say again, on this note, that the new slogan for 2023-24 for our young ones is no degree for anybody. We have been informed from our intelligence that this slogan is coming from a revolutionary sector that may likely cause problem across the country. No dey gree for anybody. It's been seen as just a normal talk. But in security business, in security community, we have seen it as a very, very dangerous slogan that can trigger crisis.
Yeah, not agree for anybody. Okay. Thank you, guys. I think I can share. Good night.